To dream the impossible dream, that is my quest. And thanks to ad-free music on Thunder 91, that dream is looking more possible, mi amigo. Now, let's slay those giants in the distance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's main event.
Where's the Friday?
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
So, another Friday is upon us.
WTF, I'm Rob Birdsey. Welcome to Where's Widow, Trio and Freedom. If you go on YouTube, you can see us live. It's called, the channel's called Widowed, Trio and Freedom. Widowed, I'm a widowed dad. Trio, I have 2 little boys. Freedom means a couple of things. It means freeing my mind, freeing your mind, hopefully helping us all out, and also creating freedom for the future for all of us. So, turn that mic that side.
Oh,
it's just
gotcha.
where I got you on. Yeah. I have Cormick Bone in the house, ladies and gentlemen. this guy, I can't even begin to tell you. I don't think there's a worry in his world. Every time I've had interactions with you, you've been stellar, upstanding. You're always upbeat. You've never had. I mean, I've even seen you in tricky situations where it's just the air is thick and awkward. You crack a joke just to lighten it up, and you're always that good.
Oh, well, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's great to be back.
Yeah.
Last semester, I didn't get to do a show. So
I know.
I wasn't in here, and it's sad. But this semester, we're kicking it off.
You did no show, or just with me?
No, I did no show.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know
I mean,
that.
like,
You were busy though around here.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was doing plenty. But yeah, no, I wasn't in here. Maybe, I mean, I may have guessed a couple times on other people's, but yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I'm surprised. I usually try to drag you in.
Yeah,
yeah. You and I, we kind of get along pretty good. I like it.
For sure.
Just a shout out. If you listen to this radio station, everything you're possibly hearing, he's touched one way or another, and it's 9 times out of 10. You got a lot of stuff in this board here, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't it cool?
I mean, yeah, I try my best to
pretty
make
good.
it nice. I do enjoy everything I get to be able to put on air, and yeah. I'm the program director, so I do make sure that we're good programmed, you know, well programmed. So yeah, and I've got a terrific team, and we're all gonna be doing a show on the air this semester from 5 to 6, so should be a good time.
You yourself?
Yeah,
with other people?
Yeah, so all of the student employees here at the station, myself, Caitlin, Amanda, and Bryn, we're all going to be in here 5 to 6 on the night crew. So, yeah.
5 every day?
Every weekday.
Every day. Tune in for that. I like that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. That's a good. They're such good people. That's a good group.
Yeah.
Straight there. That's a solid group.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in northern Utah. I was born in Layton, but I don't remember ever living in there. I mean, I was living in Layton for like the first 2 years of my life.
Yeah.
And then we moved to Syracuse, and they border each other. So I'm just right in those little towns, all packed in the bowl that get dumped on with the pollution and all that, and inversions and such. But yeah, Syracuse. It's a small town, but like it doesn't feel that way because it's packed next to all the other towns. Like it actually has less people than Cedar City does.
Wow.
But things are open later than 10 p.m.
Yeah, work that out.
Yeah, it's just right next to the Salt Lake City. Well, not like Salt Lake City. Right next to the Salt Lake, like one of the causeways to Antelope Island. I was 5 minutes from that.
Yeah.
And then we also had like a bird refuge that was like 2 minutes away from.
Yeah.
Man, I love that place. I took.
It's pretty.
Oh yeah. I took like 2 years here looking for a place like that because me and my high school buddies, my best friends, we would go there all the time. They had this like big tower that they built. It was just like logs and stuff, and we would string up our hammocks in there. And like sometimes that was against the rules, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Yeah. Good place.
So you grew up. Are you a theater kid or did you?
Yeah,
do
good
sports?
question.
Yeah.
I like to say I'm a child born of the theater, is what I like to say. My mom is a theater teacher, and so and bless my poor mom, she only had boys, and all she ever wanted to do was play dress up, and none of us were into it.
Well, life's not over yet. You can always.
Exactly. Anyway, just like I kind of grew up not hating it, but kind of, I don't know, feeling obligated towards theater.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, set building was almost on our chore list. You know, like we would do that every week without fail.
Been there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, I learned a lot for sure. Like being able to use a power drill, I thought that was everybody could do that. You know,
Yeah, no one.
Not the
no,
case.
Not many. Not many. They spin bits all the time.
Yeah. So like, you know, especially when I was a baby and stuff, my mom would use me in shows just because he was like, a baby, perfect. We need a baby.
He needs to be there.
Exactly. But in high school is really when it kind of started for the theater side of things. They were putting on Mamma Mia, and a bunch of my friends were like, "You'd be so good at it. You just got to audition. We always need guys." You know, the story that
Yep.
every theater in high school hears. And so I was like, you know, yeah, why don't I go for it? I like ABBA music. You know, that's at least something for Mamma Mia. And so I went and told my mom, "Hey, can you help me get this audition?" And she's like, "Yeah," you know, got
That's the
excited
best
about it.
thing ever.
Like,
Tear comes to her eye.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, once it kind of became my choice, I really fell in love with it. Not to the degree of it becoming my major career, I guess, but it has been my minor. I did it as a minor and jumped on that minor at the beginning of last year, and it's been great. I mean,
What did you do as the minor for it?
yeah, so it's just a minor in theater. I've been taking
So nothing specific.
yeah, it's not super focused, but I've been able to jump onto some theater classes that are more my focus.
Like design?
Like last year I took sound for theater. Ooh, that's a great class. Shout out the teacher for that. Oh shoot, now what's his name?
I got some
Colby.
buddies. Yeah.
Colby is his name.
Yep. I got some buddies that went through that, and they're like one of my buddies. His name's Ben. He does all the sound for the piano guys.
Oh, right on.
He travels this earth with them.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and he's based out of Salt Lake.
Cool.
Such a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I should hook you guys up sometime, actually.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that class with Colby is definitely more my speed, obviously, as I'm an audio nerd through and through, and just, I really loved it. And then this semester, I got, like part of the theater minor's requirements is taking a theater history class. And I would have had to take it online, which I'm not a great fan of online classes, me personally, especially if I'm taking in-person classes, like comboing them
It's hard, huh?
it just kind of sucks. So last semester I was taking script analysis with Wendy, shout out Wendy, fantastic professor in the theater department. And she was like, "You got to take this dramaturgy class. It's called dramaturgy." She's like, "The way you talk in class, it's just everything you like about theater. I think you would really enjoy this class." And I was like, "Oh man, I'd love to take it, but I don't know if I can get in my schedule. It's not required for me." And then I was on the phone with my mom, and I was like, "I want to take this class, and I think it's really, really what I love about this." And just long story short, I was able to substitute the theater history requirement with this dramaturgy class.
Oh, nice.
So that's actually where I was this morning. It's at 9 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I just came right from that class, and I'm very excited. Shout out another great professor in the theater department, Scott Knowles. He's very intelligent. He's got a PhD, knows what he's talking about, and I'm very, very excited for that class.
What's that class based around?
Yeah, good question.
I've done lots of theater. Hey, like I've done lots.
Yeah.
Like I basically just did the education side of it, and then I went to LA to try and be an actor. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
Yeah, so like it's funny. Day one was Wednesday, and he tells us about it. He goes, "This class is called dramaturgy, and our first learning objective is to define what dramaturgy is. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to have a concrete answer on that." And we're like, "Okay, all right, I see how it is." He's like, "Certainly you're going to know what we do and the various worlds of it." And today we talked a little bit more about it, and it's a vast world, and the jobs are few and far between. And he's like, "My philosophy really is on this class in particular, on the idea of dramaturgy, is that if everybody has a grip on at least a little bit of it, because any job in theater is committing what he called committing dramaturgical acts, like acts of kindness, dramaturgical acts."
Interesting.
And so what it really is just delivering the story of the script, not necessarily accurately, but with purpose. So finding the given circumstances that really are relevant, finding the little things that they drop that are really relevant, like cultural things that may, go over certain heads, like, in historical pieces that you're going to go and watch, like military outfits are an example that he brought up. They're almost never specifically accurate. Like old Victorian military outfits, you look at them and be like, that guy is a baker, right?
Oh.
And they just is a different goofy look if you were directly going for accuracy. But like a dramaturgical approach to it is delivering with, yes, some integrity to historical context, but more toward the story. What do you want the audience to take from it? And he described like that's what a director does, a good amount of what a director does. And so there's some tension that can easily arise. So it's not exactly the dramaturge's role to like enforce that, but just to be a huge and a specialist on those certain items. Yeah, it was very involved, very confusing. I'm excited for the class.
Is it and we can drop this in a minute.
Yeah.
I just know a lot about scripts and things and
Yeah.
and meanings behind it. Like most people don't understand that every single thing you see in a movie is something extremely special. So if you blink, you probably missed it, and you're not going to understand the full picture of what the director was trying to get across. So is it dramaturgy? Is that like more for visual, or is it along the sides with the script as well? So you chase both angles.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, is based on my limited,
You're at the start of the course too, yeah.
I would say they're definitely leaning more toward the script and the intellectual side. And he's like, it's dangerous because you don't want to become the research monkey of the production. And so I'm excited for him to get more specific. We're going to take the entire month of February and study what a production dramaturge does. Because he's like, he described that like different jobs of dramaturgy have different like focuses. Like a production dramaturge is given a show for a company, and they are working that show and making it, doing all the dramaturgy stuff. But there are roles like literary managers that are more about a whole season's shows, and their scope is bigger, is what he was describing. They have more tasks, not necessarily entirely dramaturgical, but certainly focusing on some dramaturgical things. And so, yeah, I would say they're leaning more toward the script. The visual delivery is more on like scenic designers, costume designers, yeah.
Yeah, just that you brought the costume thing up, and I know being in the theatre world, you're right. Back in the day of military costumes, then there's nothing real. I mean, a proper military. I mean, they were really very bland as far as he could have been a banker, he could have been to this, just dark colours, whatever. But they really dress him up. They put the stars and to really enforce that he's someone special.
Right.
Yeah, for acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, how fun. That's cool. So you're pretty tight with your mum, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Me and my mom, for sure. Like, especially so through this and that, my mom became my high school theater teacher. And it was like really fun. So like when I tell people that, like, oh, didn't it suck having your mom as a teacher, let alone a theater teacher? And it's like, no, not really. Especially because I grew up around theater and I grew up watching her work with it and just being totally devoted to it. It was pretty nice. And so like, but I'm close to her, and just the example that I'm thinking of with her being my high school theater teacher, I really caught on quick to the things that she would like ask me to do, the little things that she needed, and I just would be able to do it without her asking me and that sort of thing. And she was worried, like when I graduated, like she was like, I'm not gonna have that anymore. Like people aren't gonna be turning the lights off backstage after rehearsals and stuff. Like I gotta find that. And then my little brother came a year after that.
Oh.
He kind of does that too, but
Yeah. How old's your little brother?
We're all 4 years apart, me and my two brothers. I'm the middle child. So my older brother, he's gonna be turning 18.
Oh, your younger brother?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My younger brother,
that would make you very young, and you've accomplished it. So you're a savant, and I.
Yes.
Cormick Bone, ladies and gentlemen, he's approaching his late teens, and he is killing it.
Younger brother. He'll be turning 18. That's crazy. He'll
that's
be
funny.
graduating high school
Wow.
when I graduate college, and then he'll actually take my place, it sounds like. Here
Oh, is
at
he coming
CU.
here?
Yeah. I mean, well, not like directly take my place. I mean, he'll be doing different things. I don't
Sure.
think he wants to work radio, but I think he'll take the class.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he'll like take where I'm renting and stuff, is what I mean.
I gotcha. We'll take good care of him.
Oh, yeah. He's excited. He's excited.
Good deal. So we talked a little bit before the show, and you touched on. I've even got it posted as you leaving the nest from home, sort of thing. That's been a tricky scenario for you. You've gone through some tricky things. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. It wasn't like, I don't know. It certainly wasn't impossible, and I knew it'd be a little difficult. The majority of these difficulties, like you say, I'm close to my mom, real close with my mom, and she's real close with me. And so some of that struggle came from like a place of I can't help her as much anymore.
Now, let me just say this before we get in too far, because yeah, you're right. Like what you just touched on, some people don't. I always envied people like yourself because I wanted that communication with my parents and with my family, but I never had that growing up. So I was a bit of a lonely kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always just out BMX until 10 o'clock at night, and I was never at home, never.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd go fishing, whatever, bike track. But I never had any discipline, not even a skerrick of it, nothing. So I was quite the pill, and I would cuss like a sailor, and I didn't care. And honestly, I feel sorry for any people out there that had to deal with me when I was a kid. That's crazy. But so as far as like doing hard things, right? It's your experience, not my experience, not anyone else's out there. So for you to be able to be so diligently serving your mum, to be there for her, and for her to be there for you, because you can tell she's poured a lot into you, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're a solid person. I mean, the foundations of you leaving home, that is a huge thing. You know what I mean? For me, I left school at 13 and a half. You know what I mean? Like I just left, and then I left home, and I didn't care. You know what I mean? And half the time I was on the street. Half the time I didn't. I was all over the place. It was nuts. Yeah. So don't discredit what you've gone through.
Yeah, certainly.
Because you've had such an amazing life period.
Yeah.
So and that's accomplished. I mean, those years are amazing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. No, I'm impossibly grateful for all of that, and for the family and the home I was born into. Absolutely. And yeah, just I don't know. It was hard because I can't be there for as much, and I couldn't. And like, I've been 4 years now in college. I'll be graduating, right? And so it's great. And I've found, little ways where we can still connect that way, and I can still help. And like, it was different, like my first year compared to now. Like my first year, I would go home and still build sets sometimes. I remember she put on Newsies, and oh man, she bought the scaffolding from a different theater that had just done it, and it was fantastic. Really great set piece, giant scaffolding, big wheels, looked great. Didn't fit through the door.
So you had to pull it all down and rebuild it?
Oh, dude, no, it was worse.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, because it barely didn't fit through the door. So we took, it was bad.
Cringe?
No, it wasn't even just cringe. It was just like, oh my gosh, the work. Oh man, it's gonna sound crazy. I didn't realize how crazy it sounds. We took Sawzalls with the blades that are meant for cutting metal, right? And just chopped like an inch off the top of the entire thing. And then once we got it in, welded it back on.
Wow.
So that it was, still structurally sound and everything for like high school kids to be jumping around on for Newsies.
That's a lot of cutting.
Dude. Oh,
that's a long time.
And I remember like going home and my arms were still shaking from the Sawzall motion. Dude, it was bad. But it was worth it. I mean, it looked fantastic. And then they chopped it and sent it back out, after the production. Oh my gosh. And anyway, back to, we found little ways where I can still, she'll call and we'll text, and anytime I'm visiting home, we'll have a good chat and update, and it's nice. And then, over the summer, I met a wonderful girl, Kirsten, and she's fantastic.
She is fantastic. She's a good soul.
Yeah, she's a great match for me, and just helps me with a lot, makes everything I do better, and exemplifies what I can do. And
I would say she matches your intensity. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Oh, yeah.
you're an intense guy, but you're very lighthearted. Nothing overwhelming. And she just compliments you, and you compliment her. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like honestly, I think you guys are going to do great things.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Thanks, man. That means a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just exciting. But I bring it up because we sort of revisited that. Me and my mom and our relationship and kind of my relationship with my family a little. My dad's a quieter guy and he doesn't talk about it as much. And so it's really me and my mom talking about that relationship because obviously my mom and my dad kind of a one unit thing. I guess not obviously. Like I'm lucky to have my mom and my dad kind of be in a one unit situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we revisited that because she and I were making plans, and my mom and I over Christmas break had a big conversation about it. Shed some tears and whatnot, emotions and such. But it was definitely it is definitely difficult for me to. That's one of the difficult things that I've faced. Just the changing relationships with me and my family. There's been a lot that happens that way, and having only brothers, like there's the whole like older brother being an example, and I'm the middle brother. So like I have an older brother and a younger brother. I'm on that both sides of things. Like my younger brother, he just has 2 older brothers. My older brother, he just has 2 younger brothers. A whole another pressure, right? So just yeah, when you ask me like what's the hard things that I face, it's that, especially in recent years as I've come to college and stuff. And you know, as I've found the person that I'm gonna marry and stuff, like she knows I bought a ring and stuff, so it was very exciting. But like we've applied for housing, and like leaving my family again is a different thing, because like this was summer recent, right? And so like I think me and my mom, we kind of thought that I'd graduate and move back home for a minute and get settled, and then eventually move out, and that's kind of been uprooted and changed.
Wow.
And yeah,
New life's coming.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very excited, and I'm not apprehensive about it at all. But it's just hard.
Next steps.
Yeah,
The next
exactly.
steps. You touched a little bit the relationship with your brothers.
Yeah.
We could touch a little bit, and you could say what you want.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to press nothing crazy, but you've had some stuff going on there.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting. So, I mean, without getting into, and you're not pressuring me into anything.
Oh, good.
And yeah, don't feel like you are. I'm trying my best to be an open book.
Yeah.
And just, my big philosophy, just from my experience growing up and from my faith, that sort of stuff, if I can share something that helps, I don't want to stop, you know?
Good. I like that.
Yeah, of course. And so just without sharing too many details, being too personal, being too private, my older brothers had some pretty serious struggles. And it's impacted me and my younger brother for sure in a major way. And so like you said, I brought up that example situation, and just having only brothers, it's, you know, being the big brother, being that example.
Oh yeah.
There's a level of pressure to that. And
can I touch on that for a
Yeah,
second?
of course, please.
I see the dynamic with my 2 boys, right?
yeah.
Jack is very aware, and he knows all of the history of us. Cole, he knows he had a mum, you know what I mean, and now she's
Right.
not here. He kind of like he remembers some things when we went to Disney World for the last one of the experiences. Part of the
Right.
reason why they all want to go live in Orlando. But it's like Cole's very chill, where Jack in general, he'll boss him around all the time and try to be the leader all the time. And the pressure that's on that kid, I have to continually remind him, dude, just relax. You're so hard on yourself. So I could just imagine like being, and I'm the oldest kid too in my family, but my dynamic was garbage because I was the half brother to my sister and my stepfather. If I picked on my sister and minuscule, he'd just
Right.
knock me
It's
out.
over.
You know what I mean? Like he would hit me so hard. So I get all that. I mean, I never really experienced as much, so I tried to distance myself. I didn't like getting hit.
Right, definitely.
So I don't really, I mean, me and my sister, we talk, we don't, I don't think we're as tight as probably what your family is. And your family unit's right there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so I'm sure all the help that your mum and dad needed with whatever they're doing, probably goes on his shoulders, and then he probably bulldozes the rest of it to you guys, right?
Yeah, we definitely everybody leaning on each other, like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so, I think he feels that pressure and has felt that pressure a little bit. But then, again, it's interesting, like that changing dynamic as we're growing up. And I've seen like Instagram reel and memes about it where it's like, you're like obligatorily friends, but then like you both grow up and you're like, actually, this guy's pretty cool, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you watch, it'll level out.
Yeah.
I mean, once you guys have, where is he now in life? Is he settled down? Is he married or anything?
No, he's not.
Still trying to figure it out?
Yeah, he it's kind of funny. He's always like, how do you do it? How do you talk to girls? And I'm like,
that's fun.
I don't know, man. I try and tell him what I can tell him and give him my experience. Anyway,
Just
yeah.
make him laugh, mate. Make him laugh.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yep.
Just talk to them like, honestly, talk to them like you're their brother sometimes.
Yeah, be
you know?
genuine.
Just see them as a person. They're
Love
not.
that.
And he's always like, oh, she's out of my league. She's this, she's that.
yeah, you
I'm
gotta
like,
stop
dude,
that.
you can do a backflip. Nobody's really out of your league.
Yeah. If you can do a backflip, you've accomplished some good things there.
He's a hard worker. He's a dedicated guy. Did gymnastics. He knows how to work, and so it's a self-image thing a little bit for sure. But
Ouch.
yeah. He's not listening, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll give him the YouTube link later.
Shout out, bro.
Yeah. Jake, he's a good dude.
Jake, life gets better. I
Yeah,
promise.
exactly. Where he's at, he's graduated from the U in a double major.
Wow.
Yeah, see, I tell you.
So
he
he's
knows
a
what
worker.
He's doing. Yeah.
He's hard on himself, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
He really is. And that's again to a whole lot of his experience growing up. He was a victim to some pretty harsh stuff, and so it's tough for him.
Yeah.
And there's just things that I don't know.
Well, let's put it this way. How has let's just say his actions or what he's gone through has trickled down to you and your brother, and how does it
Yeah.
affect you guys through life?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of thinking to my classes that I've been taking here as a comm major. It's about relationships, communicating.
I love it.
Yeah, like this class I took last semester, conflict management. Oh my gosh, fantastic class. Fantastic class. Any comm major listening absolutely should take this class. No matter what emphasis, just take this class. Shout out again, another professor, Lindsay Fullerton. She taught online for SUU for like 10 years, something like that range. And then just this last year got kind of emergency hired to be in-person teaching because one of our great professors, again, Kyle Thompson, he went to BYU for law school.
Oh.
Not necessarily last minute, but kind of last minute.
Yeah, good on him.
Anyway, Lindsay Fulton, fantastic. Conflict management, fantastic. And me and my brothers, the relationships there are definitely different because of his experience, all of our experiences and the way they're colliding. I've found that me and my younger brother are a little more open. And not necessarily more open, I guess, but it's easier for us to be open with each other.
Oh, so your older brother burdens the weight and doesn't shed the weight, where you guys have learned to shed the weight because
Yes.
you've watched him hold on to too much.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
Oh man, I feel that. I
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah, and there's been times and times where it builds up in him, and we can see it. I can definitely see it. I think my little brother, he can see it. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I'm just more vocal about it, I guess. When it builds up and it kind of comes out, and it has to be talked about. You
I
know?
think it's in your nature, though.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen you in situations where it's been a little hot here or hot there between other people. You break. You do. You go. It's almost like you kick into action, and you'll crack that tension. You'll crack a joke. Oh, hey, we could just do this, guys. Oh, and you know what? We could just do it that way. And you'll make it so simple and so easy. And I look at that, I'm like, dude, I don't know how you did that, but that's awesome, because we need to be more like that. You know, I teased this show today and I put it up online. You know, like you're a person that if we had 25% of what you have, this place would be like 30% lighter. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That means a lot.
It's true.
Yeah, that is definitely, you're absolutely right. Huge part of my nature. My mom clearly sees it and has told me time and time again about it, and just, kind of misses that presence sometimes. And she sees it in other people too. And so she's like, it's not like it's gone, but it's just different
Yeah.
because family and such. But yeah, it's just, yeah. And it's good to have, you know, sometimes middle kids get the flack, like, oh, we're forgotten, that sort of stuff. And again, speaking of that relationship, like we were talking about, I don't feel that, never really have. I kind of sometimes wonder if my older brother feels that a little bit, just because of his relationship with my mom. Very different than me and mom. But
the other thing that comes into that equation, I will say, is it's so funny to see how I've got 3 kids, right? I've got 2 here and I've got 1 in Australia, and all 3 of them are so different.
Yeah.
Like their personalities are just different traits. You know what I mean? Like my eldest is very similar to me in some ways, and in other ways he's nothing like me. Where my youngest is way more like me, and he's got more of a jokier side. So he's a little bit like you, actually, the way how my wife was. My wife was a very similar person to you. She didn't like confrontation and craziness, so she'd try to level it out so we could get ahead. And that's how she would say, well, this is not getting us nowhere. Let's equalize this.
Right.
You know, Annie was a saint.
yeah,
An absolute saint. You would have loved her.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but that's the thing, that the equation of personalities are so different. So whether or not, like I'm, you know, sorry for him with your mum's relationship,
Yeah.
but I'm sure your mum probably saw you growing up as a little boy, like as a little boy,
Yeah.
and then the new baby comes along and you're like, oh, and then the bigger guy's like with his dad or whatever hanging out, and you're probably right there in the middle, and that's how I believe that you guys would have built that bond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think it sounds like kind of textbook in a sense.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But the fact that you guys love the same things and get along so well, it's just that personality. You guys just mesh real well.
Yeah, yeah. And here's the funny part. I think my mom and my older brother are so much alike.
Oh, that's probably why.
And they both refuse to see it.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's fiery sometimes.
Yeah.
Man. And here's the best part about that too. I get phone calls from them both.
Yeah.
Talking about the same thing, and I'm like, oh man, I'm the middleman here.
Once again,
Yeah, exactly.
middleman playing the middleman.
And so, like, when you bring up your kids being like you and that sort of thing, my older brother, definitely most like my mom.
Yeah.
My younger brother, absolutely a duplicate of my dad. And I'm sort of a mix of the both, I think, is kind of how it came out. Kind of like you said, textbook, you know. But, yeah, it's definitely different, me and my brothers. And I don't know, maybe I should tell them, but, like, I think we kind of know. And there's a different level of, like, we know, but we haven't said it, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, what would be the main message you want to get across? You know what I mean? Like, you're always there for him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Always.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And he knows that.
Yeah.
Absolutely knows that. And
Make sure he always knows that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, just for reasons and things, like, every time he calls, I will pick up.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
And it's different. My younger brother, like I said, it's easier for us to be open, and because of that, we don't call, like, since I'm here in Cedar, but every time, like, I'm home and mom's like, hey, can you go pick up a pizza? My little brother would be like, yeah, I'll go with you.
Yeah.
And just kind of by default.
Just kicking it.
Yeah, and he'll share his music that he's discovered with me since of, you know, because of my job and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's when we can really chat, and just, it's nice. It's nice when I can talk to my little brother like that.
No, that's way cool. Well, let's move on from that.
Yeah,
Let's talk about, so where's Cormick going to end up? What are you doing, man? Because you can do anything. I've seen you do so many things. You're a wizard on editing. You're so fast at it. I've watched you do a couple of things, and you're way over my head, but I'm getting there. You've actually taught me a couple of things here and there along the way, and I appreciate it.
I'm glad, yeah.
I feel like you could go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm going to sound maybe arrogant, but I've heard that before. One of the things that my high school teacher, who left my high school, went to the junior high that I became a janitor at. She told me something that last summer I was spending there just saving money up to move here to Cedar and all that. She told me something that didn't really sit with me like when she told me, but has sat with me, like has settled with me after. She goes, Cormick, your problem is that you're going to be good at whatever you choose. And, you know, I was like, that's a huge compliment in the moment, but I didn't realize it, how much she was right about that until I got here and, you know, every major was available, everything. And I was like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
I could really see myself dedicating my time to a lot of this. It was really my mom who gave me the direction to be here at the radio, and she's like, I see you working radio. That's what you should do.
And you got a great voice for it too.
Thanks, yeah. And so that's what I jumped on, and, you know, PSA, trust your mom as long as you trust your mom, right? But, yeah, where am I going? What am I doing? Over the summer, last summer, just before the school year started here at Cedar City in SEU, I worked for KSL. So that's a big broadcast station in Salt Lake City. They've got radio and TV. If you live in Utah, you've heard the name. They've got billboards all over and all that stuff. And so, yeah, work with them, just entry-level stuff, but that's what happens. That's how you get your foot in the door and all that jazz. I was on what they call the street team, otherwise known as like a remote technician. So anytime you hear on their radios, like, we're out here at Tyndall, we're out here at Smith and Edwards, I'm part of the team that goes out to those locations, sets up the equipment, all the fanfare, set it all up, and then make sure the talent has everything they need. If they've got interviews, I'm going and finding those people if it's their time and they're not around, which is more often than not, and you're like, awkward, you gotta go talk to somebody, be like, hey, we need you at this table for a couple minutes. But yeah, really great job. They're great folks at KSL. So that's really my goal, work for KSL. I would do pretty much anything they ask me. Where I'd really love to be is morning hosting their rock station, 103.5 The Arrow.
You'd kill that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just over Christmas break, I worked with them. They gave me a couple jobs, did a big media-thon with one of their charity events that I'm sure that they get some tax write-offs on. But got talking to a lot of good names there at KSL. Sue Kelly, she's my role here at Thunder 91, the program director over, I know she's for sure over 100.3 and 103.5.
Wow.
Yeah, and I just got talking to her about, you know, all the work I do here, not to get too into the technical, but like all the logs and the programming. And she was like, oh yeah, no, we do it differently here for sure. It's a different scale. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely a different scale. But, and she's like, yeah, when you're back in the summer, you should come talk to me and I can show you these things.
It's good.
And I'm like, that's fantastic. And the other cool part about that, like, you know, working radio, all the time you hear isn't that kind of dying and that sort of stuff. To a degree, I don't disagree with them, but it was awesome. At the Mediathon, I met a few other people my age, you know, graduating age, college age, that were so excited to be at the tents where we were set up with the KSL stations and all the other stations. And they're like, we're going to graduate. We'd really love to work. And they connected with the people who hired me. And I'm like, yes, more young faces, please. So that was really exciting.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's really my goal, working KSL.
And your majors, what's your majors?
Oh, yeah,
Just touch on that just so we know how you're getting there.
Yeah, definitely. I'm majoring in communication with an emphasis in media here at SUU. And I got a minor in theater. And to me, that's just helpful with like the performative side of being a radio host and that sort of stuff, and just helps me point to a credential, you know, I guess. Also, I love it, you know, let's be clear about that. And so yeah, those are the majors. That's sort of the direction. Some of the like dreams that I'd really love to accomplish though are like, you know, some stand-up comedy type stuff. Like you say, I crack a lot of jokes, and that's kind of just who I am. I got to get better at like formatics, writing it down, formulating stuff. I've, you know, read and watched a lot, but haven't really taken action yet.
Yeah.
And that's partly just because of my, not necessarily inability, but certainly reluctance to multitask. I like being able to dedicate myself to what I'm doing. So like when I'm here at school, I really try to dedicate myself here at school, which is really fantastic that I have an on-campus job. Makes that really easy. Job and school in the same building.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky to have that. But yeah, that's, you know, I guess a tangential where Cormick's going.
Do you have a channel somewhere that people can check out your stuff?
No, yeah. See, like I said, I don't have that that action yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll jump onto YouTube or Instagram and have something to point to, but so far, no. And I think that's kind of why I'd really like to work at KSL. They already have that structure and repertoire and reputation built up, especially in Utah. And they're starting to do things that I'd really like to do. Speaking to 103.5 and the morning show, they just started to do a podcast up.
Oh, nice.
So
you might have a breakout in that.
Exactly. And they, on their Instagram, posted, like, what should we do? And I'm like, I can answer those questions, but I'd like to do it as a job.
Yeah, give me the job and well, I think if you have that opportunity, this is my advice, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
What if you, as you build the path with KSL, what if you just posted every single day, just a quick, hey guys, this is my first day at KSL, and this is what I do here. And then just start explaining. And when you hit certain things, if people get curious, I'm sure people are gonna ask you a million questions.
Right.
Especially once you get the following. If you get that following, they'll give you the what they want to see. And if you started educating people on what you do, I mean, you could jump on and you could talk audition all day long.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could teach people how to do things, and you could do that right now. But then maybe leverage that into the KSL stuff and start building a presence. If you have, I promise you, if you have more than 200 people following you, which would be so easy to do, and take that to them, and then they see what you're doing, I bet you'll get a better position.
Yeah, that is one of my goals this semester, especially with doing the night show. Just kind of jumping on that social media side a little bit more.
Good.
And especially filming, like in the radio. A lot of the younger DJs that I'm seeing successful, they do a lot of tandem posting and broadcasting. So they'll set up their phone in the on-air studio and just post. And I'm, again, so lucky to have the team that I have here at Thunder 91. They've got great ideas. They're like, why don't we just go live on Instagram the same time we're live on air? And it's perfect.
Yeah.
And
when did this start?
We just talked about it Wednesday, so 2 days ago. I guess the idea to do the show, the four of us as the night crew, that was at the end of last semester when we were interviewing the new intern, which is Bryn. She's fantastic, Bryn Smith. I mean, not that it's a secret to her, I guess, but she's kind of the person I'm training to replace me here. I'd rather do that, start that, like I kind of started it last semester, but I'd rather start that now than like a week before I leave.
Bryn's awesome, man. She's very dedicated.
So dedicated. Loves the audio editing.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty natural at it and really enjoying it.
Yeah, she'll be in radio.
Exactly. She's got that good creative vision to it and just makes really fun stuff. One of my favorites that she's made, this is kind of, I guess, tangential, but one of my favorites that she's made that's in rotation is this radio station is enhanced with like, it's playing on the Disney DVD thing. This Disney DVD is enhanced with Fast Play. It was playing on that and just, it was really fun. And
yeah, I think I've heard that one.
yeah, I love her stuff.
You both work on it together, right?
Yeah, that's my voice on there.
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah, I like when people ask me to voice for things. Aiden, who's since gone, I use my voice sometimes.
He was just, if you guys caught the YouTube feed, he's at the start of it and we're laughing because he's so funny. Him and his Gatsby.
Oh man, he did a series of sweepers of just classic literature that make me laugh every time. He's a funny guy. He's out in Emery County doing stuff. Great guy.
Yeah.
Aiden Mortensen, you can follow him on Instagram, and he had a funny post the other day. He was like, I've never felt more like a journalist than I do now sitting in a press conference with a senator. I'm like, that's right, Aiden. That's right.
Amen.
And his profile picture, I think, is the interview he had with Governor Cox, and yeah, he's
good,
going places.
Yeah,
that guy knows what he's doing.
That and he's very supportive.
Oh yeah.
So anyone out there, go support him. Aiden Mortensen, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving into beyond career and things like that, would you leverage KSL to build something for yourself?
I don't know. Maybe. I think there's probably something in a contract that I signed when they hired me that I can do that, but maybe.
Well, I think it's what's his name? He does the interviews. He was on Fox, and now he's out by himself.
Right.
I think you just leverage it, right? So even if you were there, because if it is a dying breed or a dying art, or if you just get a crappy boss and you don't want to be there anymore, once you have a name built up for yourself, I think it'd be so easy for you to pivot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't leave it out of the realm.
Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yes. He leveraged very well.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't leave it out of the realm of possibility for me.
please don't.
Yeah, the struggle I have is just, I have a certain view of authority, I guess. And I really kind of enjoy having that, I don't know, building.
The
and-
team environment?
Yeah, yeah, the team. And just with like leveraging and going out on my own, it's my own part that I'm not so great at, to be honest.
You could build a team around you.
Right, and so that's really what I'd have to learn.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to in this day and age.
Yeah.
If you see anyone on YouTube that has anything that's a decent production, there's more than 3 people in it. I
Oh,
promise you that.
1,000,000%, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think you'd be able to take that environment and bring it to you.
Yeah.
Plus, the fact that you like the team environment and you like the hierarchy of it and the camaraderie, I think that would help you big.
Yeah, and in the leadership position, like, which I am in here at the station,
Yeah.
it's helpful to have that
Yeah.
perspective for sure. And it's not like I don't have the networking, because I kind of do. Like Bryson, he's out in Ogden working stuff, and Aiden even, Christina, and
Bryson Olsen,
Olsen, yeah.
he's awesome. He has a YouTube channel. What's it called?
easily entertained.
Easily entertained. Go see that. That's he's doing some good work. I think he's going to take off with that for sure.
Yeah, he's very consistent, keeps it up.
Yeah.
And if you're a movie fan of any kind,
Yep.
you got to follow that.
Yeah, he's fun. He's a good dude, and he's you could reach out to him and he'd talk to you all day long. He's a
All day long.
good man. Good man.
He's out in Ogden. Good dude. Love Bryson. Miss Bryson. He's
Yeah.
my roommate. So, got a good roommate now too, in case he's listening. Luke, love him.
Just not as good as Bryson. Okay.
You know, different majors. It's just different.
Yeah. Hey, we're coming to the end of the hour. What is there a message you would like to put out there for people trying to do hard things and stuff?
Yeah, good question. Honestly, one of the biggest things that I've really learned, and then you hear it all the time, sounds maybe a little cliche, you gotta be okay with yourself asking for help. Not necessarily just okay with yourself, but okay with the idea of you asking for help. Not even just okay for asking for help, okay that you can ask for help. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it.
Yep.
And to me, it's a beautiful thing. And it hasn't always been.
Yeah.
Granted, right? And honestly, it was kind of here at Cedar City and SUU where I kind of learned that it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Asking for help, building those connections.
Yeah.
So when it's a hard thing, you gotta find your way of asking for help.
Yeah. And also give a little to get a little. You know.
Amen.
Yeah. One last question. What makes the difference in anything? Whatever comes to mind. We kind of just talked about it, really, but
Yeah, well,
touch
yeah,
another
but-
one.
Yeah. To me, what makes the difference from this to that? So many possible answers. I would again bring up the team working and the connection and
Connections
the community.
is big.
I love it. I love just the fact that not every single one of my ideas is the best one.
Yeah.
And so I love being able to say, yes, your idea is better. Let us take it and run.
Yeah.
Because that's why you're around. I need you around.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is never stop learning. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Again,
Always be curious, huh?
Yeah. Again, bringing up conflict management, we were talking about boundaries and how instead of like a yes-no situation, it's more like a how much and how close. And we talked about proximity map, very helpful class. And one of the questions on the final actually was describe your proximity map and why. And so the people that I keep furthest away from me
Yeah.
are those that refuse to learn. Those that I know more than everyone in this room, and so no one in this room can teach me anything. I'm going to tell you right now, I would go venture to say that's never true. It's just never true. Whether that's somebody else's cultural perspective, somebody else's intellectual perspective, everybody has something to offer.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. We've all had different experiences that shape and form us. I'll touch on one other thing that goes along with that.
Yeah.
Most leaders and directors and things in Hollywood, right? if they don't like an idea and you're pitching an idea to me about whatever we're shooting, they'll be like, yeah, what else you got? Yeah, feed the beast, feed the beast. You know what I mean? Like, and they're just positive about not saying no, but let's elaborate. Can you give me something else? You know, bring it. So when you say no, it's like a cut you off, I don't care. And that's just so harsh. You know, people you don't need to do that. So yeah, I think that's a great point. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
and thanks for being here.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to say, if you've made it this far in this interview, thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. Cormick Bone is an awesome guy. Watch out for him. He's an up-and-coming star, I promise you that. You have got some good things. And you're a salt of the earth, man. You really are. It's kind of fun to see you do what you do. So thanks for being here.
I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Love it. Let's play New Drop.
Ooh.
And then I'll cut this out.